Phyllis from Community Horizons, presenting women emerging cultures, progressing onto the Art Collective. Community Horizons is a micro-organisation, micro-charity, focused on confidence development, focused on women, global south backgrounds and of forcibly displaced backgrounds. We look at tackling issues like barriers to education and understanding different challenges and obstacles and barriers within our community settings, organisations. We're passionate about peer-to-peer learning, and we're also passionate about intercultural competence development, communication, interaction, and creating a better understanding in how seldom heard voices are amplified. And any data, any understanding that we pull together, bring together, we love sharing that throughout the city, throughout networks, because it's so important. In 2020, we were supported by Vital Sparks to set up a project that mainly will focus on engagement and bringing women together. Fortunately, the pandemic really put a stop to a lot of things, a lot of ambitions that we had. We did manage to realise some of those in the next round that we set up independently in 2021. And this is bringing us to our second round of funding from Vital Sparks that inspired us to bring things actually much more forward in forming an art collective and to enable a clearer legacy to continue by creating safe spaces and visibility and belonging. Now, this fund that we received is from the Heritage Fund. I don't know much about architecture. I don't understand much about buildings and conservation and so on. What I do understand about and Community Horizons as such is understanding space and belonging, and it's so important for Plymouth, a dispersal city that holds so many people that are claiming asylum and receive their refugee status, are people that are resettled here or join their family members under family reunion, not always voluntarily or with the full comprehension, to support and invite and build relationships in different ways that allows a representation of the full diversity we have in the city. And particularly for us, we feel so strongly about global majority and possibly displaced women, and in particular mums, because of the detrimental stresses that are experienced and the egregious overlook in adapting things like education services or crash facilities or support services that will allow better engagement, and will combat so many factors that contribute to the extreme vulnerability to some of the people we have in our communities. Starting slow in 2020, with the lockdowns coming to an end, we had some meetings. Food was always involved. We did some sketching, some drawing. We had several meetings, and it wasn't until later on in 2021 and 2022 where we'd managed to follow up with this map that we'd created initially when we set up. And you can see here we'd envisioned a photography exhibition and so on, and we mapped out really far reach. We were very ambitious in the first round, and in the second round we were then able to fulfill and more of the art workshops. It was heavily based on photography. We had a competition and we had an exhibition in the plot, and that was vastly successful. It was absolutely fantastic. We had a great experience, and we had our some of our trustees as a panel of judges. The images were not based on artistic merits and so on. It was more the cultural, the understanding, and while the photography was a bit challenging for women, or art as such is a bit of a challenging medium for people that have quite serious challenges in life, and focus more on investing their time in so-called sensible things. It was so fantastic to have a, a variety, different women from all different backgrounds engage in different ways, and again, always with food involved, very, very important. And now this brings us to the present, where we enjoy the next round of Vital Sparks funding linked to the Heritage Fund and the conservation area. And we have fantastic artists involved, videographers, painters, digital artists, and fabric artists as well. And the aim is to have community workshops that engage marginalised women in our communities, to create a collective art piece. Here you can see two examples of our artists. Or two of our artists. The idea is to have a collection of pieces, whether photography, painting, and to bring it together, to create something collective that shows representation, that shows Plymouth, the city centre, is a safe space. You do belong, and to bring this together, we've got a fantastic experienced community practitioner, Tanya, to coordinate and to facilitate a lot of the training. We are incredibly lucky to have not only Vital Sparks funding, but we had a grant come through also from Devon Community Foundation for supporting the supporters. So our focus will also be investing in the art collective, the practitioners that do so much for the community, and also for the community leaders that we have, that we couldn't do our work without, because you can't pour from an empty cup, and we really want to invest in the people that support other others that are in need. And we have also been incredibly lucky to have not just the funding for the art workshops and the well-being and so on, and we've got different ideas of how that can look, and we will decide collectively exactly the curricula, and we'll set some dates for the workshops, for the community sessions throughout the June and July month. Um, Maybe fairly ambitious estimate in September to do a big reveal, to have a great, fantastic big event to showcase what we did. Is more realistic, possibly in October. We hope we have things together by the 10th of October, the latest, and we will keep you up to date with the dates. What was really interesting is that we managed to secure a grant from University of Plymouth also, and we feel that the art is a universal language that can not only help us create some visual art that shows who is part of Plymouth, and take space and show belonging, but also for us to amplify seldom heard voices in the obstacles that they experience, and how we can best engage experts in their own lives to communicate to us what are the challenges. From Community Horizons perspective, we've done a lot of groundwork for this community research, and we do understand that There is a number of different people that experience marginalisation that is creating barriers for them to access education and employment. We found that there is an exponential amount of barriers that are experienced by forcibly displaced mothers of global majority backgrounds, especially mothers, and we will be exploring that. So we continued our map from where we started at, and we're expanding that much more in depth, much more in detail, and looking at the different organisations or institutions that can be involved or are relevant, and the different aspects of what is important to consider. We couldn't do any of this without our funders, and we're so grateful. Thank you so much for all the support we've been given. A special thank you to Fiona at the Box, who has especially gone out of her way to go the extra mile in engagement, in discussion, in building relationships, and yeah, we're so thankful for your interest and your time, and just sharing a collage here of all the artwork that was submitted to the photo contest. Do look us up. This is our link tree link. You can find out more about us on social media and on our website. We will be setting up social media and a website separately for our art collective when we formatted that a little bit more. And yeah, stay tuned. There's much more to come. Thank you for taking your time to be part and yeah, engage with our presentation.